Worst places to live in Derbyshire. The county of Derbyshire is lovely and lovable. That is why many people love the county with its wonderful countryside. Not only that, it also has a lot of ancient landmarks and picturesque towns. The country in the middle of England has regions that boast great connections to the largest cities in the United Kingdom, whilst many of its residents delight in its rural lifestyle, particularly in and around the county's illustrious Peak District National Park. However, many people living in some of the region's towns have called out Derbyshire, claiming that those towns are the worst places to live. In this video, we look at those 8 towns considered the place to live in Derbyshire. Please enjoy the video. 8. New Mills. This New Mills, which is a town in the Borough of High Peak in the county, is the best place to start from. The town, 13 kilometres southeast of Stockport and 21 kilometres from Manchester, located at the confluence of rivers Goyt and Sett, is close to the border with Cheshire and the Torrs. Now, let's take a trip to New Mills. Such a trip may also be described as a trip through New Mills. The town isn't really too good. Some have actually described it as a dump. It used to be so bad that the council had to divide New Mills into 2 sub-regions, east and west. You need to know something about this. New Mills is a northern town, and don't forget also that the name suggests the town was a cotton spinning town with remarkable links to Manchester on its 2 railway lines. Well, the town has a bus station and a bus roundabout with some random worn-out benches thrown around. It also has a staggering 13 public houses, which is rather grossly insufficient for its population of 12,000. They also have 2 supermarkets for supposedly poor people. 7. Pinxton. This is a village nestled on the border, western boundary of between Nottinghamshire and Derbyshire. Pinxton is also a civil parish in Derbyshire just south of the Pinxton interchange, located at junction 28 of the M1 motorway. That's where the A38 road meets the M1. This town is also part of the Bolsover district with a population of 5,652, according to the 2021 census. The town derives some euphoria from its Pinxton Football Club based at the Welfare Ground. It also has 4 secondary schools. But then, the village is one of the worst places to live in Derbyshire because it has become the centre of a mystery that has remained unresolved for decades. This is what has thrust it into the national spotlight. Not long ago, Nottinghamshire police reported that human remains were found in Coxmoor Road, Sutton in Ashfield. It's not an isolated case, however. We can't forget in haste the remains of Pinxton miner Alfred Swinscoe, who disappeared 56 years ago. 6. Bakewell. The next town is Bakewell, the market town and civil parish regarded by its critics as the traffic Tokyo of England. Bakewell is known for its Bakewell pudding. The town lying on the River Wye is 21 kilometres southwest of Sheffield. In 2019, the estimated population of Bakewell was 3,695. Is it fair to describe the town as the traffic Tokyo of England? Well, as you are driving into the town, perhaps on a public holiday or weekend, and crossing the beautiful Victorian Bridge and entering the town centre, you may be losing daylight and may have to turn around, hence going back through the traffic in Tokyo of England. Kids are taught from childhood to ignore motorists. Such kids are accustomed to barging into any sweet shop or confectionery counter to indulge themselves without any recourse to safety on the road. Even 5-year-olds nicking some freshener or confectionery counter are carefree. However, we find something so good about this town. It's home to the world-famous Bakewell tart. Its Peak District serves up an array of delicious food and drinks courtesy of its many outstanding eateries. 5. Shirebrook. The next one of the 10 worst places to live in Derbyshire is Shirebrook, a town in the Bolsover district in Derbyshire. The town is not far from the boundaries with the districts of Bassetlaw and Mansfield of Nottinghamshire. Its population reduced from 13,300 in 2001 to 9,760 in the 2011 census. That should tell you that all isn't well with Shirebrook. Shire is actually among the most dangerous small towns in the county, and it's the 27th most dangerous overall out of County Derbyshire's 267 towns, villages and cities. In Shirebrook, the overall crime rate in 2022 was 85 crimes per 1,000 people. You can now see it's certainly not just the right place to live in the county. 4. Ilkeston. Ilkeston, a town in the Borough of Erewash, is the next of the worst places to live in Derbyshire. The town, with a population of about 38,640, used to have its major industries coal mining, ironworking, lace making and general textiles. All these have now disappeared, giving the town the alias the Perennium of the East Midlands. While we may see some good about the town, such as Victoria Park, Pioneer Meadows, Nature Reserve and Benavelli Viaduct, the town overall is said to be the centre for disgusting activities. The current residents of the town are complaining about the lack of a great number of scheduled activities there, despite the annual celebration of the Charter every October. This festival, which is one of Europe's oldest and largest street fairs, has lost its glory, and this makes you wonder why the event continues. When the fair is in town, all sorts of illegal and indecent acts become prevalent. Some residents went as far as saying that sexual promiscuity can be encouraged by a cone of chips or two on a Lambert and Butler cigarette. 3. Codnor. Now let's go to Codnor, a village and civil parish in the Amber Valley district. You need to recall that Codnor is a former mining village. It has a population of 3,766, with Cross Hill added, as given by the 2011 census. It is about 16 kilometres from Derby and 19 kilometres from Nottingham, forming a built-up area with nearby Ripley. People with all their teeth and the correct amount of digits would feel really out of sorts and the least at ease living or visiting Padfield. Unfortunately, the community spirit is lacking in this spirit. Codnor is also one of the worst places to live in Derbyshire. 2. Matlock. As we are approaching the end of this video, we get to Matlock in the southeastern part of the Peak District. The National Park is directly to the west of this place. There is a spa resort of Matlock Bath immediately south of Matlock and Cromford lying further south still. The town's name may well be in the Doomsday Book. That's the feeling of residents who feel that the word doom features in the lives of many residents of the town. The over a dozen shops in the town have been described as charity shops, charging the same amount for what a resident describes as rags they parade as designer suits. This disgruntled resident even felt that her neighbours seemed satisfied with wearing 1980s shell suits. Besides, a lot of the jobs in the Matlock environment are seasonal rather than permanent due to the fact that it's a tourist town. That ironically explains why locals vehemently hate the summer onslaught of the masses, keeping them employed for a while and leaving them unemployed later. Perhaps they're responding to the hike in price synonymous with months before and after the summer. 1. Ripley. Let's end this with Ripley, a market and industrial town which is also a civil parish in the Amber Valley district of the county we're dealing with. Ripley is located to the northeast of Derby, northwest of Henor, northeast of Belper and southwest of Alfreton. This old market town has only one market, with stalls unfortunately described as a collection of nail bars and kebab shops. We'd love to have your opinion on whether or not this description is accurate. Aside from such shops, we can see that the town has plenty to offer casual visitors. The co-op store that changes its uses every 3 years is one such place. There's also a skate park in Greenwich where youths usually indulge in a drinking bout called a sport of underage drinking. From our perspective, we see Ripley as a town laced with history, starting with the use of mineral resources in the late 18th century. The intent would be to kickstart local industries, which would involve plenty of trains and locomotives. Unfortunately, the failure of all that has made this town the worst place to live in Derbyshire. Do you agree that these towns are indeed the worst places to live in Derbyshire? Please, we're interested in your opinion as we continue this discussion in the comment section. Thank you for watching this video. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell.